Justin, you've pitched for a long time, been in a lot of different situations. Knowing that you had this much time off between starts, how have you kind of kept yourself in rhythm, kept the feel for your pitches, knowing that your next start was Game 1 of the World Series?
Yeah, good question. I threw a couple bullpens. It's kind of one of that weird time frame where you're not gonna try to rush in an extra like simulated game or anything. So just threw a couple bullpens. This year I've had a couple times through the rotation where I had 8 days off. So just kind of hope that all the repetitions throughout my entire life show up.
The second row on your left, Justin.
Hey, Justin. How are you feeling entering Game 1 and after over 3,000 career innings? Why do you think you've been able to stay so strong for so long here as a pitcher?
I'm excited, nervous, anxious. Looking forward to getting in my routine tomorrow. How long you got for the second part of that question? I don't know. I have always just made recovery a priority. I'm going to try to give like the easiest answer I can. I really focus on sleep. I have my entire career because I've always felt like that's the best natural way for your body to recover. Every extra REM cycle you get more HGH and testosterone in your body, and that's something that I take a lot of pride in because I don't cheat. So, I've never, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So the best natural way to do it is sleep. So I've always made that a priority, as my family will tell you. Other than that, I think my routine has changed over time a lot. When I was young, working out, the whole mindset of how you make yourself at your peak has changed from the time I first came into the league till now. A lot's changed in my workout routines. I think now I'm focused less on strength building. I feel like I have a good platform, a good base, and I focus more on mobility and trying to keep my body as in its natural state as possible. That's the layman's terms, I guess. I'm trying not to go too far into the woods here, but a lot of hard work, a lot of time, a lot of effort. You just don't get here by accident.
Go to Christy on your right, Justin.
Dusty's probably one of the best storytellers ever been around the game. There's probably a bunch, but I wondered if you could tell me your favorite story that Dusty's ever told you.
I don't know. There's a few of them. I don't know if I don't know. There's just a respect between him, Dusty and myself, and I think my favorite stories are probably pretty personal, so I'll keep that between him and I.
On your left, Brian McTaggart.
With all you've accomplished in the game, how much does finally getting that first World Series win sort of kind of motivate you with all the other stuff that motivates you?
That'd be wonderful. I think Dusty and I both would like to check off, my first World Series win, his first World Series championship. I think, that'd be a wonderful thing for us to have on our career list. I think it's not my goal, though. My goal is not to go out there and win a baseball game. There's been games in the World Series that I don't deserve a win. There's been games that I thought I pitched well enough that we could get a win. It just didn't work out. It just, at this point in the season, personal goals like that just don't matter. Try to win the game however you can. I was one of the happiest people in the world. Game 1 against Seattle when we won that game. I pitched like crap, but we won. Doesn't matter anymore. So it would be nice, though.
Stay on the left, one row behind, Chandler.
Justin, there's a possibility that tomorrow could be your last start at Minute Maid Park as an Astro. I guess, have you allowed that to enter your mind, and kind of what do you think about your future?
I don't know, man. I'm just kind of along for the ride right now. It's been wonderful, year for me, my family at home and in the sport. I'm just trying to be present and part of it. I'm not really trying to focus too much on what's ahead.
The second row on your right.
Justin, I'm curious if you kind of view this iteration of the Astros over the last 6 years and everything you guys have accomplished as, if you use the word dynasty maybe to describe it.
I mean, how could you not? I sure would like to cement another championship to really drive that point home. And here we are with the chance to do that. But, I mean, yeah, we've obviously been one of the best franchises in the history of the game, since this run we've been on.
Go to the third row on your right. Oh, sorry, a little further back.
After your strong comeback from Tommy John, I'm curious, looking back on last winter, being a free agent for the first time in your long career, what that process was like to be courted for at least a couple of weeks there by other teams, having not done that before in your career.
It was interesting. I really did enjoy kind of just talking with some teams and just kind of like hearing their philosophies and getting to talk about my philosophies with pitching and just talk baseball. I didn't get the traditional come into the city and get all the pizzazz because it was a short time frame. I gave them until the end of until I had to decide for the opt-out thing, the draft pick compensation.
Qualifying offer.
Yeah, the qualifying offer. Thank you. So there wasn't a lot of time, which made things pretty stressful, to be honest. But also, I enjoyed the process. I'm intrigued. Moving forward, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what's going to happen, but I think it's just a new experience, which it's how you grow and learn and have fun.
The third row on your right here.
Can I ask you a question?
Hey,
When did you start your career
Dave,
again?
how are
I
you?
forgot about that. So,
Good to see you.
Doing wonderful.
Thank you. How are you? Thanks.
Best of the family.
Yeah. Thank you. You as well.
All right, we'll go to the third row on your right, Justin.
That was actually perfect
He's still wearing
timing.
the same cologne, by the way. I smell it. It's a very distinct one. I remember that smell.
I was going to ask you, what has Dave Dombrowski meant to your baseball career? Can you put that into words?
He means a lot. A lot. Going back to him, Jim Leland, a couple people that were integral in me getting my start in professional baseball. I was high risk, high reward draft pick coming out of Old Dominion. And, they took a flyer on me with the second pick. And, I really appreciate them allowing me to be myself, and to bring me up so quickly. I mean, I got my career started very young, and I felt like it was a great marriage. We rewarded them with a Rookie of the Year and a trip to the World Series in my rookie year. Obviously, I was not the sole reason for that, but had a big part in it, and, it was a hell of a lot of fun. So, yeah, I am very fond of Dave, and I can't, I'd be remiss if I don't mention Jim again.
Do a couple more, Ron, up front.
You've, like you said before, pitched well in some World Series games, yet at this point in that many starts to not have a win, does that feel like something lacking?
I would like to get a win. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to, like I said, that's not my goal. So I don't want to say that feels like it's lacking, because innately that would make it a particular goal of mine. My goal is to go out and give us the best chance to win. If that ends up resulting in a win, great. I've been a part of games that I pitched and started that we won in the World Series, which is more important than getting the win.
And how much better are you at reading batters and swings than when you first started? Like the instances this year, the 2-3 times a game where you throw change-ups and having the feel for what you want to throw?
Light years. That's just, I feel like one of those things that just comes with time, logging innings, instincts. You have to be in those situations and recognize certain things. I think I've talked to some guys before about what I see, and, I've come to realize just not everybody sees what I do. And I don't know exactly why. I would assume it's just paying attention and pitching for a long time.
Take two more. Allison on your left, Justin.
MLB is doing a project with Esquire magazine. This is a little off-the-wall question.
Oh,
And
boy.
I want to say that your teammates actually suggested that I ask you this question.
Oh,
I
no.
asked a few of them.
All right.
It's just about fashion and how it relates to sports. And I know you guys are so photographed these days. And just in terms of like fashion and how does it, to you, how is it relevant to sports?
I don't know. It's just a way to express yourself. I mean, we're always in front of the camera. I think it's just a way for us to show our personality. I would call myself very classic in my style. I don't go too far out of the box, but I like to look good. I like to keep up with trends. It's like I said, it's just a fun way for some people to have an insight into who you are. I think a little bit.
I will do two.
It's kind of
more.
hard here in Houston, though. Fashion. It's very hot. Not too many layers. I like layers sometimes.
5 rows back on your right.
Justin, you faced these guys earlier in the month, but there's only a few hitters from the lineup that day who
Mm-hmm.
are probably going to be playing tomorrow. Just what sort of challenge does the Phillies lineup present?
They're a great lineup. Obviously, they wouldn't be here if they weren't. But I think, they have a lot of power. They cover a lot of different pitch types. They make you can't just have one game plan and work it through the entire lineup. And they have a bunch of professional hitters. So I think they're one of the best lineups in baseball this season.
We'll finish up in the 3rd row on your right.
I don't want to get you in trouble for disrespecting the Phillies or anything like that, but that said, you guys have been undefeated thus far in the postseason. No team has gone through a postseason undefeated since 1976, and since the divisional round started, no team's gone into one undefeated either. Is that something that any of you guys have thought about going into this World Series?
I don't think so. No. I can honestly, nobody that I've talked to is like, hey, we're going to go undefeated. Yeah, I don't think anybody cares. As long as it ends in a chip, it ends in a chip.
Justin, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Hey, Dusty, do you know how your rotation will line up after Verlander tomorrow?
Yeah, we got an idea. So, but we just gotta, I'll let you know tomorrow.
We'll go to Chandler on your left.
Dusty, do you remember the first time you met Bryce Harper and just what that was like managing him, and what have you thought of kind of his ascension into what he's become?
Well, I mean, Bryce was, he was pretty easy to manage. He was a young player. I had been told about him from Matt Williams that I got Matt's graces for me to take over for his job, and I asked him about different players. And, he's a tremendous player. He's been in the spotlight for a long, long time. Having to like him a lot on the field and off the field, and very impressed with his dedication to people and to life. And he came to see me when they were here playing that last series. I got a knock on my door, and it was Bryce, and we had a good, great conversation. Comes from good family, mom and dad, and he's a force to, to deal with. We had a couple, run-ins like you always do at some point in time, but he actually thanked me for those times, and like I said, I got a lot of respect for him.
We'll go to Brian in the 3rd row on your left.
Dusty, you mentioned after you guys clinched in New York at Yankee Stadium the spiritual togetherness of the city, Houston, and this team, and through all your years, you'd never seen a city so close to the players, so close to a team before. Why do you think that is? I mean, obviously, part of it is because of what this team went through in 20 and everything that followed that. But could you just expound on that a little? The spiritual togetherness, the connection between the team and the city.
Well, I mean, you can sort of tell. Like guys are going to the plate. They're waving to certain fans, certain kids that they've seen for years that are now young men. I watch Maldi. I watch Verlander interact with some of the kids, especially like Jose, and I mean it rivals anywhere I've been. I mean, L.A. was great, but L.A. had a lot of people from all over. We'd be playing the Cubs, and there'd be Kingman hit 3 home runs, and there'd be 20,000 people from Chicago, or we played the Mets. But San Francisco was probably closer, to this. With most people from San Francisco were from there. Where this is different. Where a lot of people from here are from here, but there are a lot of people that have moved here. Moved to Texas, and they've all sort of dropped whatever team they were rooting for, and seemed to be Astros fan. I mean, you go around the city, go to restaurants, or wherever you go, people are excited about us.
We'll go to Steve up front on your right, Dusty.
Congratulations, Dusty, being
Thank
here
you.
again. I'd like to ask you, I know you're asked this every time, but what would it mean to you to manage a World Series champion?
Well, that's why I'm here. And that's why I glad that Jim Crane brought me back here, and also to a place that, because most places I've been, I've had to sort of rebuild the team, but this team was sort of built already, and I had to carry on and try to enhance what we already have here. And I don't know. I'm just a ball player that's trying to play ball and trying to win. I love to win, and I've always said if I win one, I win two. So you got to win one first, and then we'll work on number two at that time.
And can I ask you your relationship, if there is one, with Rob Thompson? Have you interacted with him over the years? And what do you think about a guy who takes over at a very low point and has brought his team back to this spot?
Well, I don't really know Rob. He called me to congratulate me. When we clinched, but I've heard nothing but good things about him from various people, that have known him, especially people in New York. And I just got through talking to, I don't know which one is older, but the real Robbie Thompson played for me in San Francisco. And I just got off the phone with Robbie, and so he comes from a good namesake, and he's it hadn't happened very often when you take over in the middle. And the last guy that I know personally that did that was Cito Gaston, that took over in Toronto. That you rarely hear his name. That won 2 years in a row, and one of my guys that took care of me from the day that I started in pro ball.
We'll go to Christy, then Kim, then Clinton.
Hey, Dusty. I'm sure you saw this or knew about it, but with Michael Brantley being out with an injury, this will be the first time since 1950 that there's no U.S.-born black players in the World Series. We've talked a lot about diversity and issues like this before. I wondered if you could just tell me how, your thoughts on that, what you feel about this.
Well, I don't think that's something that baseball, should really be proud of, because it's it looks bad. It lets people know that, it didn't take a year or even a decade to get to this point. But there is help on the way. You can tell by the number of African-American #1 draft choices. The academies are producing players. So hopefully in the near future we won't have to talk about this anymore or even be in this situation.
Kim?
Dusty, can you talk about what feels different about this team this year? I mean, I know we talked about talent top to bottom, but is there a different feeling as you guys approach this second World Series?
I don't know. This team is pretty calm and confident, and it really helps to have Verlander pitching #1 and then Lance back, because last year, that really hurt us. To lose Lance, and that really sank my heart when Lance wanted to go to the mound, that he was hurt. And so, it starts with pitching, and to have Lance and Verlander, and to have the other young guys 1 year more mature and confident, it's a good feeling.
You talk about the calmness, and there is that with this team. Is that more a factor of just who they are individually, or is there something that you guys do collectively to create that kind of environment?
I don't really know how to answer that. Really, I mean, it's not something that you can just bottle and do by design. It has to evolve, to that situation through trial and error and through failure and successes, and just maturity as a person and maturity as a ball player and also maturity as a unit. I wish I knew the exact answer. I'd sell it to the world.
Go to Clinton in the fourth row in the middle.
Man, my wife's gonna kill me with these glasses.
Dusty, last year there was sort of a family connection to the World Series and the opponent with Hank having passed and all of that with the Braves and all that. What's this series? I mean, what does this feel like now after a whole series without your close family friend and your mentor, not being able to be there to see it?
Well, I thought about it a lot, and last year was the death of Hank Aaron, and also we were playing the Braves. So the way I look at it, much as I like Hank and much as he loves me and each other, he was probably rooting for the Braves last year. Yeah, and I figured now he's rooting for me.
We'll go to Bob, seated on your right. We'll get Bob the mic.
Hey, do you ever wear your Dodgers World Series ring or any ring that you won as a manager?
Nah. No, I just, the only ring I wear is my wedding ring. And, I just got them in the safe deposit box. I got all-star rings. I got different rings. And I truly doubt if my World Series ring would fit. Honest. And no. And I don't know if I'll wear this one either, when we win it. So it's kind of, you're proud of it, but the more you wear it, then the more you notice and people ask to see your ring or ask, even recognize you. Because when I get out of here, I'm not real big on being recognized because I've been recognized most of my life, and sometimes you yearn for privacy. But you can't hide and you can't just stay in your house all the time either. So that's why I don't wear mine. And as big as some of these are now, man, you can notice it's across the street.
Anything else for Dusty? All
Okay,
right, Dusty,
thank you.
thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Oniel Batista, el más duro, la máquina deportiva. Tu maldita edad, Oniel, va a seguir.